Welcome back everyone to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel. Today I am going to thread the Bowmark 3100, the machine you have seen videos on as I have explored it, tried to understand it. This machine was given to me. They said they couldn't get it to work. They said, here you go. So here goes nothing. So anyway, I'm going to thread this machine. Now, I'm trying to imagine I'm you. I've got a machine and, you know, this happens to me all the time, and maybe it's happened to you where someone gave you a machine or you bought it and you're like, oh crap, I can't get a manual. And even if you have a manual, you're trying to figure out, how does this machine get threaded? Manuals are sometimes very good at explaining and sometimes they're not. So I'm going to put my purple spool on the spool pin, and I'm going to get our camera up here. This is a tall machine, so I want to make sure that you can actually see what I'm doing. So here again is my spool of purple thread, and I like the thread to come off on the left side, sort of counterclockwise. Okay, so it's going to be coming off the spool from the back. That's just me. And now I'm going to come over here and get my thread guide. Now, this is interesting. I have a place to put a thread through this hole, but I can also come around on this little wheel. And what is not clear to me is this how you normally thread it on the wheel, or is that used maybe only when you're doing bobbin winding, which we have not. We got to crawl before we can walk here, so bobbin winding will come later. But right now, I'm going to, since I have the option, I'm going to try this hole here. Just put the thread right through there. I think I would like to trim the end of my thread, make it a little bit easier to get in tight spaces here. So there is a, see if I can turn the machine, you might be able to see this a little bit better. Okay, I've got my thread, I'm coming through this hole here, and that's what I'm going to do. And by the way, if this is not the right way to thread a machine, if you pretend you're me, you're like, well, I'm gonna figure it out. If it's not the right way, the machine will tell you. It's not gonna beep at you, there's no software, but it just won't sew the right stitch. So, okay, so we've got our first thread guide here. We're gonna come here. Most machines, for most of history, they thread from somewhere up top or in the back, and then they come down and they make kind of the shape of the letter J. So we're gonna come over on this side. Now, remember, make sure your presser foot is up. Make sure it's in the up position or you'll mess up your thread tension. Now, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna come around, and I just heard a click. I can't see the check spring, okay? But if you have a machine that's like this, right? If you look, you can see in there, you can see the tension, you can see metal, but you can't see much of anything else, okay? So let me do it again. I'll cut the thread here, because I always like to pull my threads forward when I remove them from a tension assembly. So here I am from this side, okay? Again, coming on the back side here, coming around, and then as I come, I'm just coming in the center, and I'm gonna pull up, right? And as I do, I just caught the check spring. I don't know if you could hear the click or not. And it's in there. I think I'm at 3.5 right now. It's not a bad place to try. Now I'm gonna come up to my take-up arm. Always make sure your take-up arm is in the highest position. It'll make threading easier for you. Then I'm gonna come here. There's a thread guide. And again, I've never seen this machine before, and it's okay. Maybe you have a machine you haven't either. Just, you know, try it. Traditionally, I'm making the letter J, coming up, coming back down. I'm going to hit this thread guide. Sometimes thread guides can be, we'll lower our camera here because we're working our way down toward the needle. Thread guides, if you think about what a thread guide does, that might be helpful for you. A thread guide is there for that very purpose, to guide the thread in the direction it needs to go without it, getting out of control and twirling around something else. Now, I don't know if I mentioned to you earlier when I was inspecting this machine. This machine has 2 thread guides, one on either side of the needle. That tells me, I believe, that this machine is capable of double needle threading. We're not doing that here, but I'm going to choose the thread guide on the left just because. And then I am going, at this point, I'm going to lower my presser foot so I can see a little bit better. I'm trying to get some light to come through that. This is a size 14 jeans needle, and I want to be able to see fairly nearsighted here. So I think what I'll do is I'll take my flashlight, try not to blind you with it. I'm going to try to sort of get the light from behind without too much glare, so I can see how to thread this needle. Well, I don't want to count my chickens, but I may have gotten lucky. I personally find that threading front to back is a little easier, but the vast majority of vintage machines I've restored and loved don't thread that way, and so no big deal. Okay, so now I am going to hold my thread tail, and I'm going to come down, and I need to get my bobbin thread up, and there it comes, popped right up. So now I have both threads. I do not know what the tension on my bobbin thread is, and let's make sure, by the way, that this purple thread that is in our needle, we want to have it under the foot. All right. Okay, so I'm going to turn this up. What do we have left to do, everyone, other than plugging this machine in? Why don't I take the sewing deck that is hard to believe it has survived the journey of this machine, and it is not broken, thankfully. Not the most robust thing, but it works. It's there. And all we have left is our cord, which I inspected early on. Some of you may remember the cord has been inspected, and I need to plug this machine in. I have not inspected the foot pedal, but this is a cursory test to see if the machine is actually going to sew, because if it doesn't want to sew, or if I can't get those feed dogs to work, then the foot pedal is a lesser issue. So I'm going to plug it in. It plugs in one way. It's a 3-pronger. What do you think, everyone? Is it going to... There can be many reasons why a machine doesn't sew, and well, the light works. And remember, there was a switch I showed all of you before. It turns to the right, turns to the right on, turns to the right off. And I had to sort of just experiment carefully, because if you don't know which way the switch works and you turn it the wrong way, you could damage it. And that switch is not the heaviest duty thing I've ever felt, but it's okay. It'll work for a purpose. All right, so I have a jeans needle, size 14. I have, let's start, right now it's set for a wide zigzag, but let's start on straight stitch. Now, this spot right here is for left bias for the needle, but I'm gonna center the needle. That's where I want it. I've got 2 layers of this sort of cotton canvas material. It's not super heavy, but not, you would You'd probably make a tote bag out of it. All right. Now, when it comes to tension, I'm setting it at 3.5 as a guess. Okay, I don't know. I may have to adjust it. Machines vary. I've got my straight stitch selector on the longest stitch. It's just easier to see. Now the light, this machine allows me to turn the light off. Some of the machines, like some of the Kenmores in the 70s, you don't turn it off. It just comes on when the machine's on. That's the way it is. All right, gonna hold my thread tails. Now, I'm going to come down, I'm going to turn around, and then we'll look at the other side. Notice I'm not going very quick. I'm not sewing super fast. When I first am trying to determine if a machine is going to do anything, you know, I go crazy with it. It's not like I'm slamming the accelerator here. I just want to get a feel for it. My thread tension down here seems okay. I might want, let's see, I don't know how much tension I need on my foot. I want to make sure I have enough control of the fabric. Now, let's try again. And I can even maybe go up to 4 on my tension if I want. Let's try reverse. Okay, so far so good. And again, I'm doing all of these tests in straight stitch, longest length, because I really want to, you start with your straight stitch to get a sense of what is the machine capable of, what kind of condition is it in, and then, as I hope to do in just a second here, we'll try zigzag. The stitch control is not bad. It's not as good as some of the Singers, but it's not bad. In fact, I'm pretty sure that this is also a rheostat, but unlike some, it seems to be working quite well. All right, why don't we do this? I'm going to actually change my stitch length. Let's go to 2. It may not even be, it may not show up that well for us, but that's all right. We can certainly see. Oops, come on. Had a little hesitation there, and I wasn't sure if it was my clutch knob or what it was. I just did my reverse. Didn't come down. All right. Now, one thing you want to be careful of is do not assume because a machine sews. All right. Now the stitch is kind of curious. The tension is good. I don't sense that my stitch is too loose or too tight. You know, I'm not getting any pinched fabric. I do notice that it's not exactly straight. Interesting. Some machines have straight stitches, sorry for the pun, than others do. And sometimes that can be taken care of by adjusting the tension, because I did adjust the tension. Here you can see where the machine was hesitating when I changed the stitch length. Now keep in mind, the stitch length mechanism hasn't been used. I've oiled it, so that could be part of it. Now let's lift our needle up. There is no automatic needle up. There's no computer. Remember, you're the brains here. So now what are we going to do? We are going to see what zigzag will do for us, if anything. It's on the widest zigzag. Okay. Let's see what we get here. Oh, and I'll start it with this shorter length, and then I'll lengthen it. We'll go back to our longest length in just a moment, because you can test stitch length with zigzag as well. Now let's change, whoops, come here. Change the length to the longest. You know, it's very curious. Zigzag was first created for industrial machines, and then it was finally introduced in home machines. So let me have all of you take a look at this. Tell me what you think about that. I'm fairly pleased. I really like the stitch tension. We had the shorter, I think this is like number 2. This is number 2 length, and then we went to 4. I could go shorter, but again, I like to start with basic things. Let's look at the other side. This, of course, is the bottom thread. Tension looks good. I'm not seeing anything too loose or too tight. Very interesting. It's funny, or not funny, ironic that a machine can sew really well with a straight stitch, but sometimes the zigzag won't work great. Fortunately, this machine was not really frozen. Those of you who saw me testing the machine in some of the earlier videos on this machine's series, you know, I was testing things and I wasn't getting a lot of pushback or frozen feedback on the machine, and that was just luck, because many machines can come where nothing moves or things move but not great. So that is interesting. I'm pretty pleased with the stitches, and let me know what you all think. I think, as best I can tell, the reason this machine would not sew for the person I got it from, they were not the original owner, I don't know who they got it from, who knows. The reason that it would not sew, the feed dogs wouldn't feed the fabric, is because they were banging into the top cover of the race cover that holds in the hook and bobbin case. And I'm wondering if somehow when it was put back and not fully installed. So when the machine started moving, this machine was strong enough to actually, you know, it's a 1 amp motor, it bent it somehow. I don't know. But I am cautiously, and I say this without any hubris at all, believe me, I am cautiously optimistic, everyone, that the Bowmark 3100 that was given up for dead, given to me free, is going to sew for someone again. I don't have a case for it, but I'm still, just the fact that this plastic piece didn't get lost, didn't get sat on and broke, is still there. Even if it wasn't, you can still use a free arm just for the free arm capability, and maybe you have another machine that has a flat bed. So I hope that this was a helpful series for all of you. Many of you, as with myself, you get machines, you're excited to get it, but unlike a Singer or many of the Kenmores, there's no PDF manual. Maybe there is somewhere. I mean, I probably could go digging and try to find one. But again, a lot of the department store, private label branded sewing machines, they were made by a lot of the same companies in Japan. Janome, Brother, Juki made a few, Maruzen, Soryu, Toyota. A lot of these companies, probably a half dozen made a lot of them. There are probably other manufacturers in Japan as well. But because every retailer could say, we want a special this, we want a special that, they would have provided a manual, but the manual, you know, I don't know what happened to it. In fact, I'm really quite pleased that anything was left with this machine. But I think, cautiously optimistic, that this machine is capable of being a wonderful tool for a sewer. So if you would, as you watch this machine, this is the debut of the Bowmark 3100, let me know in the comment section, have you ever been here? In fact, some of you I know have been here because you've asked me, hey, do you have a manual for so-and-so machine? I don't. You might be able to find them online. But I hope that knowing how to approach a machine you've never seen, it's totally foreign to you, you have no manual, you know, go cautiously, go with intention, but don't get in a hurry. Be mindful of a machine, whether it's all metal or like this one, mostly metal, but some plastic in the drivetrain, take your time. Try to understand how the machine comes apart. Look at videos like mine and other channels where they will show you, because the machines are designed, even at this point in the 80s, they're still designed to be disassembled, you can tell, but you got to do it in a certain way, right? And you have more plastic pieces to be extra mindful of. So for those of you who have hybrid machines, that is awesome. Don't let anyone tell you to get rid of them. Please don't. If they run, they soak, just use them. Take care of them. Who knows how long they'll last? I know sometimes I geek out on the glorious all-metal machines from many decades before this one, and I don't want to sound like a vintage sewing machine snob, because the hybrid machines were still, I think, in my own opinion, much stronger in many ways than some of the new machines that are available today. Thank you all for watching the channel. Again, share your comments. Let me know what you thought. Was this a helpful series? I did do a threading demonstration, and I literally have never threaded this machine before. But, you know, over time, and those of you who sew, you've threaded machines before, you know, you try it. And if I can promise you, if I had misthreaded this, if I'd used the wrong thread guide or in the wrong order, this machine would not have sewed those stitches. And that's the machine's way of talking to you and saying, you're not ready to go yet. You need to retrace your steps. Fortunately, I was able to follow along with this one. And I feel really incredibly lucky that this machine actually worked. And I didn't know what was wrong with it. And you don't know until you start taking it apart and looking at things. I have never had a race cover to be bent, ever. And there's a first time for everything. There have been screws that were missing from the shuttle, the little butterfly clip inside the shuttle, but I've never had the cover of a race ring be bent and mangled. And I'm pretty sure that's why this machine wouldn't sew for the gentleman. But he didn't want it. He said, take it. I don't want to see it again. So I appreciate the gentleman who gave it to me, because he could have thrown it in the trash or the recycler. And how unfortunate. This machine could have years of life left. I really, really wish that we could repair more of the things that we own. Nothing may last forever, but they can last a lot longer than we often give them credit for. We just have to figure out how to keep them running. And I appreciate all of you watching me keeping these machines running. And if you have not, please subscribe to the channel, and you can click the little bell symbol and it will tell you when a new video has been posted. Be well, everyone.